I'm going to start the recording and we might as well kick this thing off. And if more people roll in, great. If not, no big deal. They can all catch the recording. So, like I mentioned a second ago, this week is going to be a relatively light week on all of the updates. We don't really have much going through governance right now in terms of votes or Commonwealth discussions, as far as I know. There is one active discussion, obviously, around the Olympus stuff, which we can talk about a little bit later. But first, we can go through kind of all of the normal, typical updates that we usually do. First things first, we'll start with we did our most recent RO butterfly distribution. That was number 24. We're on the path to 100. Things are looking normal. So nothing really crazy there. Also, the Hidden Hand V2 launch went pretty well. I think like overall there were a few hiccups just in terms of, I don't know, some stuff like wasn't fully fleshed out in the documentation. Some stuff wasn't totally perfect in the UI. It was a typical launch, I think, like with the amount of stuff that was added to this launch, it made it hard to get every single thing perfect. However, we have like seen all of the feedback that we've gotten. We've seen all of the requests to change certain things, and we've been on top of it. I know Greens and Hot Wheels have been pushing a lot of hot fixes to the UI to adjust like certain things that need to be fixed, which is good. So yeah, I think all in all, I'm pretty happy with the rollout. I think all of our partners are happy with the rollout. It gives them more flexibility and more options. I think for the next time we do something like this, we're going to be even more on top of some of the smaller nuances that are hard to account for, whether it's like small way, like the way we phrase an FAQ or the way we phrase stuff in the UI, just stuff like that. So we'll get all of that intact for the next release. But all in all, I think things went really well. Greens, I don't know if you can actually talk right now where you're at, but if there's anything else you want to add on to that, feel free. No? All right, cool.
I think he said he was on the train.
Yeah. So that's how I was just double checking. So Greens is on the train, but anyways, cool. So I think all in all, Hidden NV2 is good. I don't know, Sammy, or if you have any updates you want to give from stuff you've heard from partners, but yeah, if not, we can kind of move on to the Hidden Hand proposal around recycling rewards if we want.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say the only contentious, or the only the rollout has been good. Lots of the vibes have been coming in. Some people had some issues with getting the vibes uploaded because of the permit two contract that we added, but that doesn't seem to be the case anymore. We worked out whatever bugs there were, so whoever wasn't able to make it to the last round should be able to make it this round. But yeah, let's talk about the recycling thing.
Cool. And Greens, if you figure out your mic situation, feel free to talk. But anyways, so yeah, regarding the recycle unclaimable hidden hand rewards proposal, this is something that I believe Funky created a forum for within the Discord. So there's a proposal live on the Commonwealth, kind of discussing this potential change that could be made if people liked it or approved it or whatever. Funky, you're probably better to explain like what the idea behind the proposal was. However, before we dive into it, we do know that a lot of the feedback was contentious and people like weren't particularly interested in this type of change. So it's not something we are trying to force through governance in any way. We hear the feedback, and yeah, Funky, feel free to take it from there.
Yeah, so I think it was like maybe 2 weeks ago. We put up this proposal. Basically, the idea is that once rewards are distributed for Hidden Hand a certain period of time, the proposal was suggesting 90 days. If those rewards aren't claimed, those rewards would be recycled back into bribing the pool. And to give people a bit of kind of context for why this was brought forward, I think a lot of people might be like, oh, the we're stealing your money, etc. There are some other competing bribe vote platforms who have this option, and the way that kind of the bribe market works is it's really competition on either fees or on features. So like with Hidden Hand, we brought a lot of new features which give bribers more functionality, etc. And the idea behind this proposal was to kind of gauge the waters with kind of what the community felt, but also how people using Hidden Hand felt about that, and allow us to potentially front run this feature if it was something that the community felt okay with, and if the bribers felt strongly about as well. And yeah, we've captured a lot of feedback from I think from quite a wide variety of users, from large users who have like large amounts of delegated aura, to like smaller users, and yeah, the feedback I think has allowed us to kind of understand more where certain parts of the proposal could be improved. And I think the plan now is really to just kind of like allow that discussion to kind of continue. That there's no rush to kind of get this implemented.
Cool. Yeah, so it's one of those things where like obviously the feedback here matters. This is a pretty big change given what people are used to. I think all in all, it's not a huge change, but if people are used to using something in a certain way and then all of a sudden it's changed, then obviously people can get upset about that. So it makes sense. We can, you know, keep the conversation open, but again, it's not something I think we're throwing on Snapshot right now or anytime in the near future until we get a better gauge for like what the best path forward for that is. We do have some other cool stuff coming though in the Hidden Hand pipeline that I don't know if we can / should leak just yet. I don't know, Karn, what do you think? Or Sammy, what do you think?
I mean, the
All
TLDR
right.
is that we're gonna have a moat, so
Okay.
I
Karn,
think that's what we'll say.
Sammy said leak some of it. Don't I leak it, but maybe don't leak the name because I think the name's cool. So don't leak the name.
The name is really, really cool. Yeah, I mean, the TLDR is that we'll be able to work over more markets. I think if you think about it as like bribing infrastructure for the bribers, and then there's bribing infrastructure for the voters. Hidden Hand has largely been helping the bribers set up like their needs. So we're doing some things to help the voters this time. Um, yeah, I think that should cover it.
Yeah, all in all, we think it's something that gives Hidden Hand even more of a competitive advantage, right? Like the biggest impetus behind why we made all the changes we did to Hidden Hand V2 was because we wanted Hidden Hand to be the sort of #1 bribe marketplace, not only in terms of users and bribe volume, but also in terms of the feature set that it offers. And this is just an extension of that same philosophy. So Karn's convinced that it builds us a moat. I think I tend to agree. So we're not leaking the name right now. All of the names that you guys are proposing are horrible. This one is far better. So, anyways, Moat Haven. Yeah. Anyways, but yeah, we have cool name. I think it's gonna be really cool. I think the timeline for it is relatively soon. I don't know, maybe within the next few weeks, based on the last conversations we had. So be on the lookout for that. It'll be exciting. But yeah, anything else we want to give on the
Yeah,
hand front?
I can add some more. So, like the reason we're doing this is it's not a heavy lift on our end. We already have the tech from it for the Aura like auto voter that we've been using and that people have really liked. And basically, you know, there's a lot of these like solidly forks and a bunch of other sort of like bribe markets that are spinning up, and there's no way for us to really tap into that because they've decided for whatever reason to build their own bribe market. So this should be like a tool that really lets us like tap into everything, whether they use the Hidden Hand that we're all used to or not. Should be good fees also.
Yeah. Bullish fees. Cool. So that's the Hidden Hand update. Of course, yeah. I hear fees. Yeah. Hopefully more fees. It's always good. And wait, is somebody asking a question? Never mind. I saw somebody typing. I thought that was gonna be a question. But yeah, that's pretty much the Hidden Hand update. Things have been going good. We've gotten good feedback from the partners and everything, so we're excited about it. As far as Pyrex goes, things are chugging along as usual. I mean, Pyrex Convex is still the dominant liquid convex wrapper. I mean, I saw a thread the other day that was pretty cool that kind of highlighted where a lot of the I think it's Badger DAO shut down their liquid. Yeah, BV CVX. I saw a thread that was highlighting where all of that CVX was going after leaving BV CVX. A lot of it was going to vanilla CVX locks, like people were just doing it on their own. But the rest of it that wasn't going to vanilla locks was going to Pyrex Convex. So I think now all we have to do is figure out how to psyop people into choosing Pyrex over just locking themselves. And once we do that, we tap into an even bigger market there. So it's pretty exciting. And Karn, you are the resident PXGMX expert. So if you want to give an update on the multiplier points and stuff like that, feel free.
Oh yeah, I mean, like that thing is just chugging along. I think we recently crossed over 40% multiplier points. So that means the boosted yields over like a freshly staked GMX token is, roughly 1.3x something. And another thing that we figured out is that we were looking at the conversion rate between APX GMX to GMX, and it's a lot higher than we were expecting. I think a portion of it was from like the people who exited from the pounder, but also that if we have the option to auto compound by buying the cheaper of either PX GMX on the open market versus GMX, then we're also going to auto compound at a faster rate than somebody just doing a the GMX staking and auto compounding themselves. So yeah, that's like really cool. It's sort of a slow roller, but an unstoppable force. We'll see where it goes.
That was a pretty good tagline. Might have to steal that one. Cool. So yeah, all Pyrex products chugging along as normal. Still, dominant in most of the verticals. I think like Karn mentioned, PXGMX is a slow roll, but once it gets there, I think people will catch on and really enjoy it. Regarding PXETH, things are almost in a good spot. I'm not promising an immediate launch or anything, but the white paper is just shy of done. And I think the code is in a really good spot and is not too far away from getting an audit. So we are nearing the finish line on PXETH. I will not give a timeline because we don't do that, and it's dangerous. So I'm not going to promise anything. But PyreXETH is going really well, and I'm excited for it. I think we have a lot of partners also that are excited about PXETH and plan to engage it. So I don't know if there's anything else we want to add on to that, because usually never would give a tech update. But yeah, I think it's in a good spot. The code is almost done, almost ready to go to audit, and I think after we'll do a few more passes on the white paper, and then we will get that out. So just to clarify on the timeline here, we will release the white paper before PyreXETH goes live, so people will kind of get an understanding of the system before we actually launch the system, if that makes sense. So don't expect them both at the same time. There's going to be a gap between the two. Cool. All right. So I think that covers all of the general updates, and now I guess we could spend some time on the primary conversation that's kind of been happening in the Discord. The forum discussion is the one titled "The Q of Olympus is 10%." Sammy, I don't know if you want to kick off this kind of conversation and all of that stuff.
Yeah. So I guess I think the main thing people wanted was for us to start talking more with the Olympus team, right? And I think we'll get somewhere where it makes sense for everyone. I don't think the current status of the arrangement makes sense for us or for them based on their new direction. But we've been chatting with them the past few days and chatting actively with them, and I think we're gonna come to a resolution soon enough. So basically, the one thing we do know is that the deal would have to pass on our end and their end. So there would be 2 governance votes, but We should have an answer by the next community call.
Yeah, so there's not a lot we can really like say on our end. I think a lot of people are going to get the most information from just following the discussion in the forum. I mean, a lot of stuff has been proposed, a lot of stuff has been discussed, and it's our job to just kind of like reflect those discussions. So yeah, I think over the next this is obviously something we don't want to spend all of our time on. I don't think it like I don't know. I don't think this takes like priority over all of the other stuff we have planned for the year. So like we have to make sure that we're focused on the right things and giving the proper attention to certain stuff. So the quicker we kind of get this resolved, and the quicker we can just kind of move on from it. Yeah, we prefer to focus on building. So, yeah, I don't know if people have like certain questions they want to ask about it or certain pieces of feedback they want to provide. But yeah, that's kind of the update there. Yeah, the distraction needs to be addressed ASAP. That's our mentality on it as well. Monkey, I don't know if there's anything you want to add or discuss. Doesn't have to
No, I
be
think
this stuff, but it could be about anything.
yeah, I think I think there's I think Mike has a few things coming in, but yeah, I think that was it. I think you handled this community call perfectly, Colin. Well done.
What can I say? Cool. So, moving on from that, if there's any general questions about anything that people want to ask, feel free to ask them. Otherwise, we can just kind of keep this call relatively short. I know we're in a bit of a lull period right now, given that we are preparing for, some of our biggest product launches since inception. But yeah, I think the lull period is a good thing. It's not us sitting on our hands. We're actively working on stuff, getting it prepared, and like I mentioned, we will have the sort of new hidden hand extension thing ready to go soon. So there'll be a launch kind of between now and PXE for people to get excited about. Yeah. Any other questions besides coffee pasta in the chat? Do we have larger ETH holders waiting for the PXE rollout? Any commitments? Yeah, I mean, I think, it's hard to say if we have like, commitments are all just like handshake agreements and word of mouth and stuff like that. But I know our partnerships team has been working really hard on not only reaching out to individual whales, but also reaching out to certain DAOs and projects that hold ETH. I would say we probably have a few soft commitments. However, I mean, nothing is guaranteed, right? So to some extent, we have some soft commitments. We're working on that actively. And I think there are a handful of people and projects that are excited about it, which is a good sign. Reason for the new profile pic? Yeah. So going into the PXE and Dinero launch, it's wartime, so I needed an upgrade. And Joker Frog made me buy his bags. So that's the explanation. Yeah, long redacted. And they're called redacted Remilio babies, so it kind of just seemed appropriate, right? Like, that's pretty cool. So I just had to go for it. And it cost me some ETH. And now I'm an NFT bag holder, and this is the life I've chosen. When merch, actually, I am working on a new shirt/hoodie thing right now. Matter of fact, I think I want to do something really limited, but outside of merch, we actually have some other pretty cool ideas we're working on that are not merch, but are more like collectibles. And so, yeah, we're going to have a lot of stuff. But again, it's not like priority over some of the other stuff we're working on. Collectible, yeah. The collectibles are going to be an NFT project to make up for my losses on this Remilio baby, if they come. Dinero plushie. We could probably do plushies. I don't think we're doing socks. Socks are like played out. Everybody's done socks. What type of collectibles would people want? First off, we should probably do that. Plushies, condoms, lighter. Why are there 2 votes for condoms? Stickers, that's easy. If you want stickers, just go to an event. Jesus Christ. All right. We're devolving. The conversation is devolving. Okay, if there's no more questions, we can kind of wrap this one up early and give everybody their time back. But we just wanted to hop on to give kind of a few quick updates, like we always do. I think hopefully over the next few weeks we will have some more to add. I know we don't have a joke this week. However, if Fahad accepts this invite to speak, perhaps he can give one. Okay, step 1, get him on stage. Step 2, tell joke.
I'm still thinking about the joke.
You can't think about it. You gotta let it out. We're on a time crunch here.
Okay. Why did the cricket invest in cryptocurrency?
Why?
Because it heard there were bugs inside the system.
God, they just get worse every week, don't they? All right. Anyways, we're thank you, Fahad, for that horrible joke, and we will wrap this thing. We will wrap this thing up and give everybody some of their time back. We appreciate you all for hanging out. Again, sorry for the time change. We'll be back to normal schedule, not next week, but the week after that. So, yeah. Anyways, everybody enjoy the rest of their Friday, rest of their weekend, and peace.